Welcome to Burning Daylight Sports with Matt McKinley, Eric Winkler, and Jake Rehnquist. Join us every Tuesday for betting lines, hot takes, and a whole lot of fun.
All right, welcome back, Daylight Burners. It's the baseball show for Friday, May 1st. It's gonna be May. I heard that on I think it was on Mo News podcast. And being a 90s child, you didn't have to be a fan of Justin Timberlake to know what JT was talking about. Everybody knew that song. And anyways, I guess that was more 2000s, maybe. I don't remember. Either way, showing my age here. But let's get into the recaps. But started off, we're a whole month through the season of baseball, and the Rockies are officially not the worst team in baseball. They're not even the worst team in their division. So that is huge step up. Round of applause for the Rockos. Good job, fellas. You got me interested again. With a losing record, mind you, but still, I'm back on board. My A's sitting atop sole lead of the AL West, a game and a half above the Seattle Mariners, who have been coming on here a little bit lately. But the green and gold holding it down, got a winning record at home, and a winning, or I think maybe it's a 500 record. It's either 500 or I think it might be a winning record on the road. I think it's got to be a winning record. Yeah, because we picked up that series in Texas. So, yeah, boys are bumping. I like to see it. The Tigers are sitting at 500. I believe they're tied for the division lead. Yes, so we'll we'll get into that all here shortly. So before we dive into the recap, please go follow us on all the social medias. We have our own YouTube channel, which we're live on right now, thanks to my new Burning Daylight headquarters broadcast app that I built with the help of AI. But it's pretty fucking dope, if I can say so myself. But we're Burning Daylight Sports on YouTube, on Instagram, and Twitter. Facebook as well, if you still use that, and then I also have a TikTok. So go follow Jake on all the socials. Jay Rehnquist, Jordan Winkler as well. And then let's get into some of the action yesterday. It was a pretty light slate with most of the league on travel day, about half the league, so about a half slate for yesterday. Not too shabby. And hey, check this out. I can move all over, put myself wherever I want here. And I don't know if I'll be able to do that with the 2-person screen share, but we'll check it out. We're gonna learn. We're gonna live, laugh, love together. Yesterday, Tigers victorious over the the Braves. They were down early, poured it on in the 8th and the 9th. Anderson gets the win. Hold on. I gotta. Here we go. All right. So, and then I guess before we get in, top of the league. So I'm gonna try to run this, follow this little script generator, and I'll freewheel as I go. But Yankees leading the East at 20-11. They're at a 645 win clip. On our radar today, we got the Rangers at the Tigers. We got Mackenzie Gore versus Jack Flaherty, a pretty good pitchers matchup. Flaherty is pretty solid first couple times through the lineup. That third time through, he kind of falls to pieces. But it was funny the other day. My son was pitching, and I had to pull him out of the game the other day. His first appearance did not go so hot. Could not find a strike zone, and things happen. It's not a huge issue, but he was struggling, so I pulled him from the game, and so then he got to practicing some more, and then put him in again the other day, and I had him practicing catcher, and he jammed his thumb up pretty good trying to tag one of my assistant coaches uh, when we were running infield practice, and jammed his thumb pretty good. The coach is a pretty big dude, solid, big fella. I feel like Muniori Kawasaka talking about Big Poppy. Poppy, big, Kawa, small. And yeah, coach, big, Gus, small. And his thumb was all bruised up. But anyway, he was working on his pitching, so I put him in for a little bit, and I could tell his thumb was hurting him. It had been bugging him, and he was pitching a little bit wild. And I went out there and I said, "Hey, are you good?" And I had no intention of taking him out unless he was just hurting too bad. And he said, I was throwing strikes in warm up, but when a batter steps up there, it just fall to pieces. And well, forget about that batter, kid. But anyway, cracked me up. It was really hard not to laugh at him when I was out there trying to just see if he was all right. But anyways, Jack Flaherty also kind of falls to pieces that third time through the lineup. But we got that game later today at Comerica Park. Transaction wire has been busy. There's like 50 moves logged in my tracker here, so it pulls data from the MLB, and there's been a whole bunch of the injury bug is starting to get into full action. But quick standings checks. We got the Yankees atop the East with the Rays coming in at 18-12, game and a half back. In the Central, Cleveland and Detroit tied up at 16-16. I do believe Cleveland has the tiebreaker still. Orioles at 15-16. Gaining some ground in the East. The East is little soft outside the Yanks today. So on a probable pitchers today, we got kicking off here shortly. Zach Gallen on the bump for the Diamondbacks at Wrigley, facing off against Colin Ray. That'll be a pretty good game. Brady Singer taking the mound for the Reds against Mitch Keller for the Pirates. That's a pretty crucial series to watch this weekend with the NL Central, just a red hot division at the moment. All 5 teams above 500. Jacob Mizorowski on the mound for the Brewers against the Nationals. Jake Irvin, that tall, skinny fucker is just a flamethrower for the Brewers. Mizorowski, and so that's always one to kind of keep an eye on if you like to watch some really good pitchers. Throw Mizorowski in there, and then it's a good way to familiarize yourself with the rest of the league. Is find some aces to follow. Okay, and so that's in Washington. We got the Orioles and the Yankees, a pretty key matchup there. Will Warren on the bump for the Pinstripes. To be determined on the O's as of record time. And then the Astros, we got Mike Burrows at the Red Sox to be determined. The Red Sox seem to be in free fall at the moment. Transactions and injuries. A's activated Brent Rooker. He's been off to a slow start since he came back, but we also designated Andy Ibanez for assignment. He was our backup third baseman, signed him in the offseason. Not working out so hot. Also put our third baseman, Max Muncy, on the 10-day IL that's retroactive to the 26th. Left fifth metacarpal fracture. On that note, we recalled third baseman Brett Harris from the Aviators. And the Rockies placed right-handed pitcher Ryan Feltner on the 15-day IL with right ulnar nerve inflammation. They recalled left-hander Sammy Peralta from the Isotopes. And then around the league, we got Frederick Keys. Well, this is all minor league stuff. I'll run down it if you're interested. keep an eye on some names in the minor leagues that you may see later on this year. So the Frederick Keys activated right-handed pitcher Cohen Atchin. St. Paul Saints placed left fielder Alan Roden on the 7-day IL with a right shoulder contusion. Clearwater Threshers activated outfielder Jonathan Hogart from the 7-day IL. Iowa Cubs activated a right-handed pitcher, Jace Beck. Chattanooga Lookouts called up or activated right-handed pitcher Easton Sikorsky from the development list. And the Nashville Sounds activated center fielder Jordan Adams. All right, so we'll get back into our look around the league from yesterday. Run down real quick, and then we'll get into the full standings and the preview of today. So Tigers over the Braves 5-2, bringing them back to 500. The Braves just on an incredibly hot start so far. Best record in both leagues at 22-10. Redbirds piling on the Pirates 10-5. Skeens again. Let's see what he went pitching wise. He's got a 3.18 ERA. So after that rough first outing, he is back to being Paul Skeens. So he went 5 innings, gave up 8 hits, 5 runs, 4 of them earned, struck out 9, 2 home runs. So he got touched up a little bit. That will happen. Still a strong favorite to win the National League Cy Young. Rockies drop another one to the Reds, 6-4. Michael Lorenzen taking the loss. Really pitched pretty decent. Gave up 3. Couple home runs late. Did the Rockos in, but really playing good baseball. Finishing the month of April at 14-18. Like I said, hat tip to the Rockos. They're playing like they're actually want to win some baseball games this year, and that's fun to watch. Nationals 5-4 over the Mets. Continue to struggle. The Mets. Luke Weaver coming in relief. He's got a 6 ERA on the year. Diamondbacks absolutely walloped by the Brew Crew in Milwaukee, 13-1. Michael Soroka looks like he got touched up pretty good. I didn't watch much of that. The A's of the rubber match against the Royals, pouring it on 6-3. Jeffrey Springs did leave the game early, only threw 67 pitches with I can't remember which hip soreness. So manager Mark Kotze in the post-game interview stated he didn't expect him to miss a start. So it was a managerial decision rather than a player decision. Springs is a pretty tough dude. So but the ball club said, "Hey, why don't you? I think we got this. Why don't you take a beat?" Medina gave up a home run in the. I think Medina gave it up in the 8th, but strong outing by the A's bullpen. Perkins getting his 3rd save of the year. Twins winning one against the Blue Jays. Blue Jays kind of just whatever. The Twins are not great. They're I think they're 4-7 in their, or 4-11 out of the last 15, something like that. They're after a hot start, they really fell back to earth. The Blue Jays kind of still struggling to get it going, but I would expect them to turn it around. Astros putting a whooping on the Orioles, 12-6. Bassett taking the loss there. Yordan Alvarez continues to absolutely mash. Hit his 12th home run of the year yesterday, and then we had a second game of the doubleheader. Astros 11-5 over the over the O's. You don't see many doubleheader sweeps, but the O's, they're also kind of treading water. They're right about 500, but they're just it's kind of for the Orioles this year. Speaking of the Giants and the Phillies on a doubleheader. Phillies taking the first one 3-2. Shugart looks like he shoved. Yes. Gave up 2 in the first, and then nothing allowed after that. So Phillies not getting it going. Giants not really getting it going. Second game went into extras. Phillies sweeping it. 6-5 in the in extra innings. Gage taking the loss there, and Shugart again. So Shugart's reliever of some sort there. So that was the action for yesterday. Let's get into the standings now. We'll just go right down the line. In the East, pretty competitive race between the Yankees and the Rays. Yankees to an incredibly hot start. Game and a half up on the Rays, coming in at 20-11 on the year. Rays at 18-12, game and a half back. Baltimore in at 15-16, 5 back of the division lead. Like I said, kind of struggling, but closer to 500 than not. The Blue Jays, they're off to a slow start, and then the Red Sox just cleaning house. That looks like a franchise in distress over there. 8 games back and not looking good for the Beantown crew. In the Central, again, we got Cleveland and Detroit knotted up at 500, with Cleveland holding the tiebreaker. The White Sox, fun little team, only a game and a half back at 14-17, and Munataka. I can't remember his first name, but Munataka Murakami. Yeah, absolutely mashing or striking out or walking. He's a Japanese Kyle Schwarber, and he is fun to watch. The Twins, kind of whatever, and then the Royals really off to a slow start. They got hot, but we kind of stalled them out. Picked up a series from them. We'll see how they continue to operate. Over in the West, Green and Gold, 17-14, a game and a half up on the Mariners, who riding in at 500. Texas, a half game back of them at 15-16, and then the Astros and the Angels, both at 12-20. Both clubs struggling. Astros just sucking all the way across the board, but the Angels had a little bit of success very early. I would expect the Astros maybe to bounce back a little. The Angels, I would like to see them be better, but I don't think they're going to be. Waste of just an absolutely sensational player in Mike Trout. In the National League, the Braves running away with the East at 22-10. Not another team in the National League East with a winning record. The Miami Marlins at 15-16, 6.5 games back. Nationals at 15-17. The Phillies at 12-19. They've won a few. I would expect them to get back on track. I would expect the Mets to as well, but they're proving us all wrong. They're coming in at 10-21. Just a dumpster fire. In the Central, not everybody with a winning record now. The Pirates, Pirates back at 500, but everyone else with a winning record. The Cincinnati Reds at 20-11, also off to a really hot start. The Cubs hot on their heels, a game back at 19-12. And the Cardinals at 18-3, off to a strong start. Brewers still kind of getting going, but they're a game above 500, 3.5 back of the division. And then the Pirates off to a strong start at still sitting at 500. Starting to see some cracks in that strong start from the Pirates, but I would expect them to hang in there around 500. Coming in at 16-6. See, Pirates are on a 5-game losing streak, while the Cardinals are on a 4-gamer. Nothing. 6-game losing streak for the Angels, and got a 3-game win streak for the White Sox. Everyone, the entire National or American League East is on a losing streak at the moment. Lost at least one. All right, and then we'll move it on over to National League West. The Dodgers still looking like the Dodgers at 20-11, but the Braves are making their case be heard. Padres as well at 19-11, half game back of the Dodgers. And the Diamondbacks playing good ball, 16-14, 3.5 games back. Adrian Del Castillo with a jack yesterday. Another one of those Reno players that I got familiar with over the past couple of years. Really cool to see those fellas doing good in the big leagues. I'm a big fan of seeing that. My Rockies at 14-18, 6.5 back of the division. And a half game up on the Giants to close out the month of April, not in last place. Well done again. That deserves another little golf clap. Just a solid, almost competent performance from the Colorado Rockies. All right, let's get into some previews for today. As I said, the Cubs and the D-backs getting ready. First pitch here at 2:20 Eastern, so that's 11:20 Pacific time. So here in about 30 minutes or so. Rangers at the Tigers for a 3-game set at Comerica. We got Mackenzie Gore and Jack Flaherty on the mound. Reds at the Pirates. Brady Singer taking the bump. Mitch Keller for the Buccos. Mizorowski facing off against Irvin for the Brewers and the Nationals later this afternoon, evening on the East Coast. Orioles at the Yankees. That's a key series in the American League East. Still no pitcher for Baltimore, but Will Warren taking the mound for the Yankees. Burrows on the bump for the Astros, taking on the Red Sox at Fenway. That's a snooze fest of a series this weekend. Giants headed down to Tampa to take on the Rays. We got Robbie Ray and McClanahan facing off. Both off to pretty good starts. McClanahan at a 3.91 ERA. Robbie Ray at a 2.70. That for boring baseball, that'll be a pretty good game, honestly. Phillies at the Marlins. We got Perez and Wheeler facing off. Wheeler, I haven't got to see him pitch yet, so this may be one I pay a little bit of attention to. Blue Jays at the Twins. We got Patrick Corbin and Woods Richardson facing off in Minneapolis. Dodgers at the Cardinals. That'll be a good series as well. We got Sheehan and Liberatore facing off in St. Louis. Braves headed to Coors to take on the Rockies. Let's hope we can keep this competitive. The Braves really looking good. We got Grant Holmes on the mound for the Braves, and Quintana taking the bump for the Rockos. The Mets at the Angels. Talk about a forgettable series there too. We got Scott versus Urena on the mound. Gross. All right. In West Sacramento, we got Cleveland coming to town. Cantillo on the mound, and again back on the bump. I'm glad to see he's not on the IL. He left the game earlier his last start with shoulder soreness. So I'm glad to see him back. That dude, if he can get some control on that sinker, he's going to be a stud. We'll see how the green and gold fare against some pretty good competition in Cleveland. White Sox headed to San Diego. We got Schultz on the mound for the Southsiders, and Herman Marquez, former Rocky, taking the bump for the Padres. Royals headed up to Seattle. We got Cole Reagans going against Brian Wu. That is a fantastic pitching matchup. I would bet the first 5 under on that one. Reagan's off to a little bit of a slow start, but he's a solid pitcher. in a pitcher-friendly park up there in Seattle. That'll be a good one to look at. So my key series for the weekend to watch, we got the Yankees at the Orioles will be pretty good. Tigers at the Rangers. Both teams at 500 or hovering around 500. Both division contenders. Not exactly a sexy series, but I think it's a pretty important series. Reds at the Pirates will be fun and important. Giants, the Rays, bleh. Phillies at the Marlins. Keep an eye on that. Like I said, the Phillies are trying to get things going, and the Marlins have been playing pretty competent baseball to this point. Dodgers Cardinals is a fantastic series. Braves Rockies, if you're into that kind of thing, and I am. And of course, not just from a homer standpoint, but from an actual relevant standpoint, the Cleveland West Sacramento A's series is a very important series. So I want to see the boys get the bats going. Carlos Cortez, I have not been singing his praises like I should be. That dude won AL Player of the Week last week and making a strong case for it as well. Going into yesterday's game, he was batting 400 on a 10-game hit streak. I think it's a 10-game hit streak after yesterday. Nick Kurtz has now tied Ted Williams' record. Second all time for most consecutive games with a walk at 19. Only one person for him to catch, and that is Barry Bonds. So that is some elite company that the young first baseman is in. Still a little bit of a slow start for the big fella, but he's coming around. He's had some power numbers. Jacob Wilson swinging the bat like we know he can, and the green and gold are really looking good. Tyler Soderstrom, see if he's going to be in the lineup today. He came out of the game early the other day on a awkward diving attempt. And let's see, preview. They don't have the lineup listed yet, but so that'll be one to keep an eye on. Royals Mariners. I don't know if that's much of a series to pay. It could be meaningful later on down the road. As of right now, this one particular matchup should be pretty fantastic. And with those two pitching rotations or pitching staffs, that could be a good low scoring series this weekend. But really pay attention to Dodgers, Cardinals, Cleveland, and the A's. Tigers, Rangers, also an important series. And D-backs, Cubs as well. There's some good baseball this weekend. So we'll be back tomorrow. And on that note, move your ass. We're burning daylight.